What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great start to your weekend. It's 3 o'clock. I know most of you are getting off, getting ready to rock and roll. I know I am. Getting pumped up about this Eagles team. You know, we've been talking about this for a year, but it's all happening now. We've got training camp. We've got proof that this team runs multiple schemes, that there is actually a thing called a Sam linebacker. All these things are being shown to the Eagles media, to all the people that did not understand what was going on with the team, and it is a beautiful sight. So we're going to talk about this, and this is the perfect time of the year for overreactions, where whether good or bad, you're going to have people losing their minds. Oh my God, this guy did this. This guy didn't do this. So we're going to talk about those things, and we're going to break that down. And it's training camp. So I try to stress that all the time, but this is the time. This is the time actually where people that, never stepped on the field, they hate this time. I don't like training camp. I don't want you. This is the nitty gritty, baby. This is where battles are won. This is for the diehards. So getting excited, but also not putting on blinders here. Keeping in mind, taking everything with a grain of salt, because it is training camp. So we're getting some kinks out. We're working on new things, all kinds of new stuff. So you're going to see things like today where Kenneth Gainwell as running back one. Are people going to overreact to that? You're damn right they are. Jalen Hurts threw a couple interceptions. Are people going to lose their minds? You're damn right. Did Gardner Minshew throw the same thing? He did. Are they going to mention that? No, they will not. So you know the narratives. You know that the media is pissed. They wanted Hurts gone all year. Talked about how we were trading for Deshaun Watson. Talked about how this defense was switching, even though it was the same defense as last year. So now that they are being shown that they were wrong, they are pissed. So we're going to get a lot of stories, a lot of just trying to tear this team apart. So we're going to stay on top of what is actually going on with this team. So you saw today, there was a post and it was like, oh, Jalen Hurts throws a terrible interception. And I was like, oh man, really? And then I saw like 30 other from other reporters, and they were like, a great diving interception from Avonte Maddox to make the interception. So I was like, wait, so Hurts didn't have a bad throw. I got it. Then I found out who it was from. My man Drew in the building. What is going on, dude? Hope you're doing well. We're going to talk just a little bit about training camp and stay on top of things where, it's either going to be one way or the other. They're going to overreact to all of this. And what we're doing is staying in place. We're staying happy with what we did this offseason and hoping that it all comes together come the start of this season, because we know that this is a lot of new pieces with a staff that just started their first year last year. So there are going to be growing pains, ladies and gentlemen. We are aware of that, but that's what we're going to talk about. So I appreciate you taking the time today, Drew, and everybody, all of you guys. If you enjoy this content, do me a favor, hit that like button. You can subscribe to the channel. You can join us next time going live when we're talking birds. I'm about to do my UFC 22, but I'm going to rewatch afterwards. My man, appreciate you. Hope you have a great video, Randy. I'll definitely have to check that out, my man, but have a great one. Appreciate you taking the time. And Nina in the building. What is going on? Always happy to have Nina getting that fire going. I'm getting pumped. So earlier we talked about Gannon slowly explaining to the media how, these multiple schemes work and how you use them each week, depending on who you're playing. And that's wild to me that you have to explain things like that. If it's your job to talk about that stuff, I think you would know that. But also a lot of confusion. People don't know what a Sam linebacker is. So Nina, we're here and we're talking about it and we're trying to break it down again over and over. Nina, we've been hard at work here at On the Road to Victory, trying to get it out there that this damn defense is not changing anything. They're upgrading and getting better and scarier. So Hassan Reddick, the reason I wanted him and has him as my number one free agent priority was the fact that he can pass rush and drop into coverage, whereas Jannard Avery, so this is quite the upgrade. And what I don't like is that there's anger and pessimism about this team because of misinformation and ignorance, just not understanding and not taking the time to go out and figure out what defenses NFL teams run. And if you're going to work for NFL teams, you would think that would be a prerequisite to getting a job, but it is not. So we're going to keep trying to educate people on what defense we ran last year and we'll run again. And Hassan Reddick will drop into coverage here and there. He's not Darius Slay out there. The dude's still going to be a pass rusher. I mean, I had to explain this when we signed him. if you remember, all of the content creators and the media were like, well, now the Eagles aren't drafting a middle linebacker or signing anyone. They got Hassan Reddick. And I was like, Hassan Reddick is not a middle linebacker. What? So I had to explain what a Sam linebacker was and how he's predominantly a pass rusher. I mean, go check it out on I don't understand. Now these people flip it around. You can't drop into coverage. And it's like, didn't you say he's only a coverage linebacker just a month ago? Like, what the bro? I don't know how it doesn't drive anyone else insane, but it's like, okay, sure. Yeah. Oh, wow. Like you said, I have to take them with a grain of salt. That's right, man. So we're going to talk about these. And look, I just took brief notes. I'm not making graphics for it. I'm not doing any of that like I did last year because, dude, people just get too carried away with stuff. And we're going to briefly talk about it. And then I want to just hear your thoughts. This is the time for you guys to hear how you're feeling. If you have any confusion, maybe you just started tuning in, you just subbed, whatever it is, love to try to explain how this defense works. I'm going to make a video why I think this defense will be successful. One last time, I'm going to try to make it real short and simplify it. So that way you guys can share it out, get others to understand this defense so that they're not upset because they're misinformed. So it's crazy. JG seems excited about his players. He looks different. Yeah, man, he seems really excited, Nina. I think, last year I was pretty pumped up about him. He's a very smart guy. There's a reason other teams wanted him as their head coach. And, we talked about giving him the personnel he needed to show what his defense can do. And we got a lot better last year, even with the personnel we had. So I think people fail to realize that. I bring it up all the time. We ended the year 10th in yards allowed. I know we were like 18th in points allowed, but we got better. And we knew there was lack of personnel. So adding 6 new starters on defense, that's pretty awesome. Hardcore Sports Network. Definitely, man. I will check it out for sure, man. Have a great show. What's going on, my man? Yo, haven't seen you in a couple days. Hope you're doing well. We're just here talking a little bit about training camp. I'm going to give you guys some notes, but I want to hear your thoughts. So I'm going to go over this briefly. And like I said, take it all with a grain of salt. Kind of playing Madden. Stick around. Hey, my man, I appreciate you. Hey, kick some ass. I haven't played Madden in a minute. I need to get the new one just to, get in and play with this damn team because it's exciting. Let's see. I've seen you're coming up on the Eagles. Appreciate your coverage. Yeah, it's mind-blowing. Oh, man. Hey, I appreciate you, man. And, I'm trying to do what I can, and I've done this for years now, and really just it blows my mind that, a lot of people prefer the other stuff. And, people will argue with me all the time. And it's like, I'm really just trying to give what I know as fact. I'm not giving stuff that I want to argue about. You know what I mean? It's like, no, that's Hassan Reddick is a Sam linebacker that fits into the 3-4 that we run. And you guys saw all offseason. We're switching to a 3-4. We never did. And it's like, all of last season, the offseason, we were running that. Were people not watching or they just don't know what they're watching? So I've set out to try to educate the masses, man. And it's not even, look, if you're a fan, you don't have to know this kind of stuff. I'm a nut job and I always have been this way. I need to know every single little detail about everything. So I know that there are other people like me. So that is what this is for you guys that are just as obsessed and love the Eagles as much as I do. This is for the diehards. And, that rubs people the wrong way that, they prefer the clickbait. They don't want to talk about actual football. And I get it, man, but there are thousands and thousands of options for you in that area. If you're not into real football talk, I mean, what are they doing to me? Just leave me alone. You know what I mean? It's like I'm breaking things down for you, helping you for free. I don't charge you anything like those people asking you for money or asking you for whatever. I haven't asked you ever. And I've got a disease and my life turned upside down. And I've never once asked you guys to give me anything because I don't need that, man. I just want to meet and make family members, man. Like you guys really, the people I've met the past few years, it has been fantastic, dude. Like being able to help others being able to help me, man. Like just, this has been better than I could have ever imagined. You guys have helped me beat this disease. Well, I still have the disease, but I wake up every day and beat its ass. You know what I mean? Like I get pumped to talk birds with you guys. And that is what it's all about. So if I can help other people understand some things, maybe they don't, that's what it's about, man. So like, I'll talk to family members. I'll talk to friends. I'll be like, oh, thanks, dude, for breaking that down. It's not like they're stupid for not understanding it. They know that I'm a nut job and I'm going to go find out about it. And I could just simply explain it to them. What bothers me is the people getting paid buku bucks or people that parade around talking like experts that don't even understand basic principles. I can't do that. And that's not just football. That's in life. And anybody who knows me knows I've been that way for 20 plus years. I hate misinformation. I hate that people just are lied to all the time. And I've done my best in life to try to help people see that, and not just in football. So, I've always been that guy, man, always. And always just a free thinker, dude. And I think people see why now. That's the route I went. And now they're like, oh, I think it makes sense. But when it comes to football, man, this is my escape. So when they try ruining it, well, you're going to meet me. So just trying to spread that love, man, and spread that knowledge. So I'm glad, that you appreciate it. That's what this is for, man. I didn't get here to argue with people. And so I hate that, man. I really do. I came here to spread positivity, if you guys remember. And then that idea got stolen by people, and they started just asking players to come on and doing what I was doing. So it kind of took away what I was doing. And it's like, okay, so I had to change up what I was doing. And then everybody just wants to be negative to me. And it was like, what the fuck? I didn't get it. But it was like, oh, I called the Super Bowl and then all the draft picks. People just were mad I wasn't lying to them. So, hey, it is what it is, man. I'll keep telling the truth if they don't like it. See ya. This new training camp routine, specifically the lack of hitting, is most come I know great shape, not like in previous years. My man Andrew, I believe you are the gentleman who gave me that hilarious comment on that video, dude. Loved it. Loved every second of it. Even called my woman and told her about it. Dude, I think you guys realize how much I miss my father. He would have been 72 June 1st, man. And when I talk to some of you older guys who really, you've seen what my dad saw, the things I saw growing up, real pain as an Eagles fan. I love it, man. And when you guys tell me stories and you appreciate that, like when my pop watches my show and he tells me like, oh, I really love like that. That means the world to me, dude, because I know you guys, you truly love your birds, and you've been to hell and back. I mean, I know I have been. I was born in 1986. So my first years of being an Eagles fan were very tough. And I learned at a very young age, it doesn't matter if you're losing, you still bleed green, man. And it's how I've always been, man. So I loved that comment, Andrew. So I just wanted to throw that out there before I answer your question. But it's a pleasure to have you in the family, man. And I look forward to talking in the future with you. But to answer your question, I really like what Gannon and Sirianni have said the last couple of days about these new camp routines. I think it's a new day and age. We've seen the amount of injuries this team has dealt with. Well, last year we saw that go down greatly. And there was a new staff, a new game plan on how we deal with people. And I think this year they tweaked it even a little bit more. And I talked about this. Look, as somebody who used to play football as a little kid, I from the age of a little kid, they were throwing me out there at ages now they probably worry about children. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably why I have so much brain damage, the CT. But look, man, we were smacking each other around, and that's how we were getting better. So in the sense where I'm old school and I get it, like, dude, you got to get out there and hurt each other. If you're a little bitch, then you're going to get hurt. You know what I mean? Like, so get out there. But at the same time, what we expect of these players, and with the additional week that we've added and the hopes that you make the playoffs, you look at it and you're like, okay, it's an 18-week season guaranteed. We're hoping to add a few more weeks onto that, but damn, how do we ensure that these guys are good for all of those months? So I think obviously the time that you want to take it the easiest is now. And, they just had their time off. So I think a lot of these guys, do what they're supposed to do in the sense of keeping their bodies right and being prepared, but some people don't. So you're taking it gradually. You see some guys going all out. And what the thing is here is I think there's trust, Andrew. I think that they trust that these guys, you see the tapes, I've been sharing as much as I can on Twitter and wherever else. I try to show you guys that these guys in their off time, it's what they're doing. It's the Lane Johnsons with the Bro Barnes. It's the Tay Gowans with the, they go out and they're finding specialists who help them with their craft. That's all I ask of these players. And I think that's all that Sirianni and Gannon ask if they're going to have these lightened practices. So to me, I get the old school notion of get your ass out there, man. And, I get it. But I also, and I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but I've been real torn about this, since we've been doing it. But if it keeps our guys healthy and, they gel, and I think, with this year, being the second year of Nick Sirianni, a second year for Jalen Hurts, first time since he was 17, since he's had the same system. That's pretty wild, man. So that's very helpful. I don't think people know how hard it is to learn a playbook. And I've never had to learn an NFL playbook. So I can't even imagine, let alone college and NFL every single year of Jalen Hurts' career. So wild. But other people, that, when he knows the system, it works for everybody else. When, guys have things, Anthony Harris on defense as a vet, Fletcher Cox on the line, just helping these younger guys, I think that will help them get acclimated. And we talked about it. Could be some bumpy roads the first couple games, but luckily, you get a nice tune-up game with the Detroit Lions week 1. Tough test. First home game, Monday nighter against Minnesota. But you get to learn a lot about yourself. And I really think, you're going to have to get it in those first couple games. And you're not going to see much starters in the preseason either. I think that's going to cut down even with just 3 games. So just trying to keep guys healthy with this longer season. But yeah, it's a tough road to be on there. We should run Madden. Yes, I'm also learning about coverages some more, like cover 4. Yeah, man. When I was a kid, I'll say stuff like, oh, people, they only play Madden. That's their knowledge of the game. And what I'm saying there is that that's as far as they go. I'm not saying that Madden can't help you, man. Madden, when I was a little boy, was my favorite game. And I couldn't get enough learning what those defenses were because I wanted to know what they do. And now I was also blessed as a young man to get to go to an Eagles camp where Troy Vincent talked to us, taught us a lot about, what cover 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all of the, different things are. And it was simple, cover 0, you're man to man with people. Cover 2, you're just splitting the field in half. Cover 3, you've got the field cut in thirds. Cover 4, you got 4 different parts where they're going to. So it's all things, that I, at a young age, was blessed, because of a video game to show me. But then I took that and grew with it. You know what I mean? I made sure. And now I played football too. And I always come back to this. You don't have to play football. Like, I'm not one of those people like, oh, you never played, you don't know shit. Like, no, man, there are smart people who can learn things. And, I think it definitely helps, and I always say that about like depression or addiction or anything. I always say I can help people because I've lived it. You go to one of these counselors or something, and it's like, look, it's so easy to do. And it's like, sure, dude. So having experience, I get it. But using your knowledge and letting it expand every day is something, man, I love doing. So it's something I like to try to build every day. So I like to learn more and more. People are like, oh my God, you're the cap expert. You're a nut about this. It's like, man, I'm still trying to learn more and more every day. I mean, there are people that know more about me when it comes to defensive, alignments and techniques and stuff. But sure, your average person probably doesn't. But I'm just saying, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I'm just here to try to spread that love. And it was all being a kid, playing the game on video games in real life and just growing it, man, and growing it. And I've told you guys my story. I chose a life of drugs and partying and having a good time rather than sports. And I'll never, ever forgive myself. But, you have to. You can't let that kind of stuff ruin you. But once I almost died, it was like, dude, do I really just want to get by in life, or do I want to chase my dreams? And my dream has always been to do what I do now, but on a bigger level, dude. And we're going to talk birds, for the birds. I want to be that Eagles insider that gets you ready to run through a wall every single day, man. But I'm always here, man. Always down. I could probably get Madden here next year, and we could definitely do something, man. It's always nice to hang out with you guys. So that'd be something I'd be interested in, man. You can definitely reach out to me and we'll try to set that up. So the emphasis is now on understanding down, distance, and game situation. I know Belichick emphasizes this greatly. That's why mediocre players look like all pros in his system. Exactly. And that's one thing I tried to break down last year. I simplify those videos when I'm talking to people. Like when I break down the defense, I'm just showing you what the base is, where these people are lining up. And if you listen to them, I explain things and try not to get too crazy because I don't want people to get confused because our own media doesn't even understand the basics. So we got to start somewhere. But yes, man. And we talk about situational football. And I mean, having versatile players is what we needed to have this defensive scheme, the multiple schemes. For them to actually work, you need the right personnel. We didn't have that last year, and they still improved, which was crazy to me. So I think for me, I've been trying to break it down, but it's all those little things that Jonathan Gannon puts into all that detail that lets me know he's a really smart guy. He knows what he's doing, and it'll be really shitty when he leaves next year. You'll be coming back to the media, and they'll be like, oh my God, why did we leave? And it's like, remember when you guys said he sucked? But this dude he's a football genius. And I think, he knows how situations change in football. So you cannot, with these fast-paced offenses, you don't have a chance to substitute a lot of times. So you need versatile players like Hassan Reddick who can put his hand in the dirt, who can stand up, who can drop in coverage, who can do so many things. And you talk about, having the multiple schemes, I've said it, they're going to be odd fronts, going to be even fronts. You're going to see so many different. Go check out that video, guys, of all the multiple schemes. We've got the players to move pieces around, and that's without having to even substitute people. So you're going to see things all over the place, and you're going to see how smart he is when it comes to situational things like that, man. And it's all about certain matchups. This week, you've got the Bucks. They run a lot of 12, 13 personnel. So you're going to see a lot more linebackers. Maybe you got a team, the Packers, they've got 4 wide receiver sets. You need more secondary. So I broke that all down, and I hope you guys checked out those videos, but just trying to keep people informed about, what's going on here. So pretty wild. But let's get through some of these notes as we're getting through some of this stuff, because we'll never will. But I appreciate all the comments. But I mentioned, Kenny Gainwell getting first team reps. I told you guys 1A, 1B. Did I not say that? So again, don't overreact to it too much, because Miles Sanders will probably still be the starting back, but Kenny Gainwell is going to get just as many snaps. And I've said that over and over again, and I'll stick to it, man. I really think that Kenny Gainwell is going to flourish on this team for a very long time. So we'll see what Miles Sanders' future holds, but very excited about him. So that was really cool to see today that he got some reps in there, because he's going to get his time. Carson Strong looked pretty damn good today. We talked about Jalen Hurts struggling, throwing a couple interceptions. So did Gardner Minshew, both with 2 interceptions. Again, take it with a grain of salt, guys. These are all situational things where maybe, they're trying something new or whatever it is. Let's not overreact to the good or the bad. But Carson Strong went out 7 for 7. So are we saying he should be the starter now? I'm not smoking crack. No. So we're not doing that, man. Trying to be a quarterback in real life. So I'm learning about personnel more too. Nickel is where there are 5 defensive backs, right? That is correct. And that's awesome, man. Hell yeah. And I would love to help you in any way, shape, or form I can. So you always feel free to reach out to me, man. And look, check out that multiple scheme defense one where it breaks it all down. But if you have any questions, you can always comment down below there or reach out to me. And I'd love to further explain those things to you guys, because there's a lot more to it. But I try to simplify it just because it didn't seem that there was even that grasp from our media. So I was like, okay, I don't want to get too ahead of myself and just people be turned off by what I'm saying, so we'll see. But passion and knowledge are dangerous in this system. Great. Yeah, how about it, man? And the same with the media. I think they're going to be scared of a little bit of passion and knowledge. It's Vic Fangio on the staff. He was yes, he was there today, and we've talked about what a great teacher. I brought that up earlier today. He's been a great teacher for Jonathan Gannon. Talked about him yesterday as well, and I think that's a guy that you love his mindset with defense, but that just gives you an idea of what Jonathan Gannon is going to become. Somebody very well respected. And I think he's got a lot of shades of him. We talked about Brandon Staley, Greg Williams, Matt Eberflus, Mike Zimmer, all of those things Jonathan Gannon has gotten. And I think gets me pretty excited. So he's not on the staff though, Nina, to answer your question, but hey, I went on Joe's show last night from the Philly podcast, and he had asked me if I thought maybe we stayed in-house when Jonathan Gannon leaves, or maybe go elsewhere. Vic Fangio being one of those names, but I talked about in-house Denard Wilson, who recently got the promotion. I think, what a great dude, but he got some high praise today. So a lot of great names around Jonathan Gannon. So it's not just Gannon. We've got a lot of great, assistant coaches and personnel coaches. So really pumped up about the future of this team. Fan of the Eagles since 14. That's what's up, man. I was born in 86, bleeding green. Always happy to have new Eagles fans. So thank you for tuning in, my man. Let's go. One of the first games I watched was week 1, Eagles versus Panthers 09. Wow, that's way back, man. 09. I was 23. Those were some wild times, my friend. Wild times. It's amazing the reports we see. Mike K reporting impressively. I just brought this up earlier, Nina. You get both sides of it, and you see. So that's what I say. Take it all with a grain of salt, because people are just trying to fit their narratives in this time. So that in this offseason, the media is pissed. We did not get Deshaun Watson. Howie did not fail. We didn't mess up the draft. They actually did all the things I mapped out. And that pisses people off, that we actually did have cap space, that we had a great draft, that we added all the pieces we needed. And so now they're gunning for this team. They're pissed that Howie and Nick made fun of them. Like, oh, free agency was over in week 1. You guys know I was busting balls too, because it's like, what? Like, if people never watched football before, like, what are we doing here? And the media they just want people to get worked up. And I'm not about that, man. But yeah, I totally caught that, Nina. Crazy. Let's go Birds. You know it. You know it, dude. I just cannot believe that training camp's happening right now. Like, we made it, man, and it is almost here, dude. So I'm getting excited. Being quarterbacks, yeah, man, you better be a very smart person to be able to break things down. Played a little bit of quarterback when I was younger, but I grew very tall at a young age, and I turned into a wide receiver real quick. And I liked scoring the touchdowns. So yeah, man, but I know both positions pretty well, and it's not easy at all to be a quarterback. So yeah, got to be a smart guy, and you got to have some talent. Doing a great job teaching us. I'm starting to. All right, hey, man, and I'm just here to spread some stuff. And if you guys ever know something or want to teach me something, feel free, man. I'm always here spreading that brotherly love. So glad you're enjoying it, though, my man. Quarterback school with JT Sullivan is pretty decent for quarterbacks and first down training. All of you. That's what's up, man. And see, that's what I'm talking about. There are plenty of other content creators, Eagles content creators, and other just for personnel stuff. It's out there, man. And I'm trying my best to support other people too. But it's like, look, all I'm doing is talking about the Eagles. That's what I do here. I try to get people to understand what's happening with the Eagles. I just figure somebody's got to do it, right? So I hope you guys enjoy it. But Drew, thanks for, shouting it out. And that's what I mean, man. There's other great stuff out there. Both of those channels. See, and that's what's up. Okay, hold on one sec. These are flying in here. What kind of context is Devontae looking at when time comes? Oh, man, I don't know. That's a great question because these receivers are getting some pretty hefty contracts. And, he's got a few years here. And I'm sure, in 2 years, he'll get his. And, probably around a little bit more than what you're seeing now because it's going to go up and it's going to keep going up. But the good thing is the cap will go up. So I don't know, maybe you're looking at 30 mil guaranteed for him even at that time. But Devontae Smith's going to be one of the top receivers in this game. And I've said that many times. And now that he has AJ Brown there, I've said this a million times. I think the Anquan Bolden, Larry Fitzgerald, I can't wait till somebody takes that one, but I think that's who they're going to grow into. And I think that should be scary to others, man. So I think he's going to get his. I really do. And if he can get somewhere in the 25 to 30 mil range, that's definitely what he's going to do. But like I said, that probably is going to go up for top receivers. I'll be real with you. So it's going to be interesting to see when that time comes, Ryan. But good question. Yo, what's going on, Lindy? Always at it, my man. If there's anything out there that I can talk about birds, we're going to talk about it. So appreciate you taking the time again, my man. But this is how we roll. I used to do it for a few years. It used to be every single day I had a video, but didn't have as many subscribers and things like that. And it was just like, kind of felt like it was underappreciated. So I just stopped doing it. But always here when there's breaking stuff or training camp to talk about. So I appreciate you taking the time. Gainwell is slated to have a breakout year this year, and I love it. Yeah, man, I've been trying to get people on that train. You know it. Being tall is a good trait for a quarterback too, though. I mean, it is. But look, people like Drew Brees are Hall of Famers. So you can't just say because someone's not taller or someone has small hands like Kenny Pickett that they can't. Because look, man, they can. This is the NFL. So we'll see. So close to it. Yo, that's right. We are close to 1,000. You guys have just gained like 60 subscribers the last 2 days. I guess people are getting pumped about learning the defense. So this is what we've been doing for a few years here, man. Just trying to educate. I bring on players. I bring on the Eagles media. I stopped doing that a lot because, well, we've got about 100 other content creators doing that now. So kind of eased off on that. And I do different interviews now, and I do different things. I just try to always be different from the crowd. So whatever anyone else is doing, I'm always going to do the different thing. But I can't keep changing my logos and colors, though, guys. I really cannot do that. So not going to do that. But it's nice to see, man. What do they say? That impersonation is the biggest form of flattery, something like that. So, hey, I love it, man. But we're getting close, man. People are starting to see there's bird talk out here, and you don't have to rely on the misinformation. So I love to see it, man. Appreciate you. What it do, my man? I'm really out of time. Hey, man, it's all good, but glad you're down, taking your deuces, and you're getting some time here. So, hey, we're just talking about a little bit of the notes, getting people to not overreact too much. Will Sanders be here next year? I don't know, man. It's going to depend on how he does this year, and if we can get something for him. A lot goes into that question. So I think Kenny Gainwell's got a big future here. So we'll see, man. I'm not that tall either. Well, it depends on how old you are, but you definitely still grow, man. So, hey, don't let that deter you from doing anything, man. And if anything, when people tell you you can't, let that drive you to show them that you can. The side feeling we have two wide receivers. Yeah. The competitive between the two, I feel good, goes under the radar. Perfect addition to sharpen iron. Yeah, man, I think so too. And I talked about that extensively. And if you guys missed any of the positional breakdowns, I broke down every single position. You get a look at every single player we have, my thoughts on who makes the team. And if you add them all up at the end, you'll see my 53-man prediction. But I will be making a show on that. But I already gave you guys the answer there before I wanted to. But it is what it is. But yes, I think that is what you see in a lot of positions. So it's a great point, Lindy. At wide receiver, you've got guys like Zach Pascal, Jalen Reagor, Greg Ward trying to make the team. And beyond that, you've got your younger guys who are trying to make it. And I think Britton Covey, Devin Allen, Carrick Weef, all those guys are interesting. And I like Covey and Allen maybe to get that return specialist job and then become depth at wide receiver. So, dude, iron sharpens iron, and that's what I'm all about. So all I wanted was competition at each position, and that's how he went out and did. So he did his part. Now the players and coaches have to do theirs. 16, well, not sure how much I grew after around then, but you can still grow, man. You definitely can at that age. I'm just trying to think of myself here. But look, like I said, when I was young, I just had one huge spurt, and then I became a receiver that way. But dude, don't let that deter you from learning whatever position you want and getting better at whatever you want. And if you ever need help or whatever, dude, I'd love to help you. So, yeah, man, don't let that deter you, man. Just O-line, we don't need to play Sanders. He'll be looking for a big contract. Well, I think he's going to play really well because of the fact that he wants a contract. It's just going to come down to, do the Eagles want to give him a contract? Does Kenny Gainwell look so good that you move on, you add another back next year in the draft or a free agent, whatever you want to do? But a lot of questions to be had next year in that position. But this year, I'm really excited about what we have in Sanders and Gainwell. But if you guys saw that positional breakdown at running backs, talk about what's behind them. You've got Kennedy Brooks, man. And, he's exciting, but he's young, and you don't know what he's going to do in the NFL. Then you got Boston Scott and Jason Huntley, so they can provide special teams help. But I know a lot of people, we need a power back. If it's not Kennedy Brooks, maybe you bring in Jordan Howard. So there's a lot going on right now. So we're all just staying patient. We're taking all this stuff with a grain of salt. And I think there were a couple other notes I did have. We talked about the Avante interceptions. I pretty much mentioned all of these things. So Andre Sasha Ray, my dude, had a pick. So let's go. We picked off Minshew. I know that we talked about Hurts and Minshew having down days. McCain had a pass break. TJ Edwards was starting. And I know a lot of people were freaking out about that. But that's what we talked about. Guys, when I made those graphics and put some of those guys in there, I said, this is what the defense looks like for the future. Some of these guys may take some time to win that job, but that's okay. They're young men who have to learn. And if it's just that time in off season, then I'm really excited, because that means if they get those jobs by week 1, let's go. Quez better be our number 3. Pascal in the red zone. Oh yeah, he will be our number 3. And I have that on that show. Talked about, the top 3, they're a lock. You talk about Devontae, AJ, and Quez. I think they're going to be one of the best trios in the league. And then beyond it, though, as was just mentioned here by Lindy, you've got Pascal, you've got Reagor, you've got Ward, you've got these guys that know, like, oh shit, look at Reagor. He's like, I was a first-round pick. Everybody's calling me a bust. I could be traded here, and if I don't, I'm going to be sitting on the bench, and that's going to suck. So he's got to do something, man. So iron sharpens iron. So all about it, man. Do I feel Tart's undervalued, as in people have felt that safety is still not good enough? If so, the bright side is him or Harris can be a veteran staple. Well, that's something I talk about. And I talked about specifically bringing back either Harris or McLeod. And then I talked about specifically adding Jaquiski Tart. Now, when you look at Tart, Harris, Epps, all 3 of them versatile, can play free safety or strong safety. I think people sleep on Tart and Epps' coverage ability. So I think people now are starting to get on the Epps train. They see why I said, look, if we started the season right now with Epps and Harris at safety, I was okay with it, because I like the promise. What I wasn't okay with is the question of depth beyond that. So at that time, it was Kayvon Wallace. I like Andre Sasha Ray a lot. He can help you at free safety. Nickel, he can help you as a special teamer. He's a special teams ace. But beyond that, Kayvon Wallace, are you going to be the strong safety? What do you want to do here, dude? And, you look at, Reed Blankenship, guys brought in, but I think for me, having another veteran here was a must, to help out Kayvon and to help out Marcus Epps, Andre Sasha Ray. If you weren't going to get Tyrann Mathieu. We did not get Mathieu. He chose to go to New Orleans. Now, I've talked about Jesse Bates. Who wouldn't want Jesse Bates? You add him to this roster, we could definitely be winning the Super Bowl this year. So I'm all aboard that train. Yeah, hell yeah, I'd take that. And we do have the capital. We have the money. We have the picks. We do have the means to do it. It's risky, though, because you have to take him on a 1-year deal, and you could either franchise tag him, which will kill your cap then, or hope that he signs a new deal. So that's risky. So I've talked about this. I like Epps, I like Harris, and I love that Tart was brought in. I think he provides you that comfort where you're like, okay, I got 3 guys that could all be the starter. So I think they're all going to see their fair share of snaps, and that makes me excited that they can all fill in for each other at each spot. So it's a great addition to me. And I know it doesn't jump off the page to people like, oh, that wasn't Tyrann Mathieu. But it's like, look, man, we did what we could. And I like it, man. I'm excited about it. And, we tried to get Williams earlier. Marcus Williams didn't happen. So the Eagles definitely tried to get a huge upgrade there. But, hey, we'll get that next year in the draft. Gainwell getting snaps is huge. Yeah, again, brought that up. Yeah, don't read too much into that. That's not a big deal. We've been talking about that all season. That's 1A and 1B. Miles Sanders and Kenny Gainwell. They're both, you saw it last year. He was, starting games, essentially getting those reps. So doesn't matter what they call it. I know people are freaking out. Sanders getting cut. No. People overreact to everything in the offseason, and it's a little wild. But this is what you're going to see. Guys getting first-team reps just to see how they do with the first team. Or maybe, if they're maybe pushing someone or if an injury were to happen, you need to see how a guy does. So got to remember all that stuff. But, yeah, not a big deal. But something we want to keep in mind that he will be getting a lot of snaps. And I think people are seeing that now. Starts at linebacker, Edwards, White, Dean. I think White and Dean are the linebackers of the future for sure. But I've talked about TJ Edwards would still get his fair share of snaps because of the fact that he's a run stopper and he's really good at it. His coverage definitely got better as the year progressed. But you've got 2 guys that, Dean is still young. He needs to work on a lot of things. But Kaiser White, man, you guys know I really wanted him this free agency. There's a reason why a guy can run sideline to sideline, stop the run, but he can cover too. So you've got a guy that can teach and help Edwards and Davian Taylor and Nakobe Dean. So you've got depth there. And I'm really excited about that. So I think in different packages, you're going to see different guys. But when it comes to nickel and you need nickel linebackers, I think you're going to see Dean and White, whereas Edwards more of that run stopper, but he's going to get his snaps. So something I talked about extensively in those multiple scheme breakdowns. But yeah, I'm excited that we actually have linebackers. What do I think about Vic Fangio at camp today? So I believe Nina had brought that up a couple minutes ago. I think, that's cool. That's something Gannon, he has learned from him. He's learned from Eberflus, Williams, Staley. We've talked about these guys extensively, whereas I don't know what people are watching. Jonathan Gannon's a really smart dude. So that goes to show you what kind of respect he gains, that Vic Fangio is there watching him, and people have brought that up, when we talk about replacements when Jonathan Gannon's gone next year. I think it could be Denard Wilson. Maybe you get a Vic Fangio there. So I think it's really cool, and it shows you that there's some excitement to be had about this defense. Now, just want to make sure I didn't miss any notes. We just talked about the TJ Edwards. Talked about that. Okay. I think that's pretty much what I had for you. Kaiser White did well today as well. I just want to throw that out there. He had a sack. But look, the linebackers, man, I'm excited we have them. I'm just excited, period, for this team. And I know, and, it's funny. I get sometimes people telling me, like, hey, don't overreact or something. I'm like, huh? Bro, you're talking to me, the guy that has to explain to people not to overreact about good or bad. It's like, that's hysterical. I always get that, though. I'll try to explain something for a year to people, and then they'll come back to me and explain it to me like I didn't just sit here for a year explaining it. And it's like, yeah, I guess I don't understand that, huh? People are nuts. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's nuts out there. Like, I never said a bad word about them. It's like, sure, dude. Like, just keep that same energy. I'm doing great. Thank you very much for tuning in, Allison. Hope you are doing well. Just finishing up here. So if you guys have any final questions, any comments you want to throw my way, please feel free to do so. I'm telling you, though, I'm running on fumes. I told you I woke up today and I could barely breathe. So I was talking earlier in the video about how hilarious it was to see our defensive coordinator have to explain what our defenses are to the media. And it's like, bro, don't you think these guys should have a job, or women, whatever it is, have a job in football? They should know football. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. But found it crazy how much they've done for Gannon in 2 years. It seems more than Schwartz. And Schwartz didn't help himself exactly. But yeah, they are. And we talked about this. I went on my buddy Joe's show last night, and I talked about how, Gannon being a prior scout, how much, he probably is in Howie Roseman's ear. So love it. Love it. Love it. Allison agrees. Yes. And, I'm just really excited about this. I'm very excited about this team. Want to ride your dude? They do. And well, what they should be doing is riding it rather than just stealing all my shit and then acting like they're smart. And it's like, yo, what's nuts to me is I'll make a breakdown of the video or the defense or the cap. And the next day, somebody all of a sudden understands all of it. And I wrote an article breaking down. And then when they write stuff like beat writer you need, and it's like, so I just started writing stuff like, oh, well, I did that 3 months ago. And I know you just took all that content. So here you go. Or they just start throwing out misinformation. I'm just going to start saying, nah, dude, here's actually how it works. So they're going to probably have a really tough time. And I don't want to be a jerk to people, but it's just kind of getting old at this point that I get ignored all the way to the point that the stuff happens and then they just steal it. And then it's like, I never said anything. It's like, nah, dog, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. So F them, bro. No one likes us. We don't care. New sub. I appreciate the hell out of that. That's dope as hell, my man. And look, you're in for a wild ride. You know, we're here breaking things down every single week. And each week, you know, I try to explain this to people when it comes to football season. On Monday, we'll be breaking down the game before, talking about what we saw, what needs to be adjusted, and all that. The other thing. Then come Tuesday, it's behind enemy lines. We're talking about the next opponent. Wednesday, we're talking about injury reports from both teams. I go through every single detail you could ever want. So I know that people prefer clickbait, but if you're into the birds and you want to talk about the football side of things, you're hoping to learn some things, then you are in the right place, and I am happy to have you, my man. So looking forward to talking some birds with you in the future. But if you're looking for anything, you know, content throughout this all season, go ahead and check out all the prior stuff, breaking down schemes, breaking down every position, breaking down. I mean, you can check out the pre-draft stuff, pre-free agency stuff, and see why I wanted Reddick and Davis so badly, why they fit before they were even here. So it's wild to me hearing that we're changing defense when we already had the defense. It's wild seeing things that aren't real. So just trying to put out the real things. Please say I'm returning to YouTube today. What's that mean? I didn't know you left YouTube. I haven't seen you in a couple of days, but glad you're back. Sometimes you have to be a jerk. And Allison, I don't want to be. I really don't. And I started this when I was on my effing deathbed. And I said, my message was of hope and perseverance. I just wanted people to believe in the Eagles. And I was getting death threats. People telling me I should just die. It was like, oh, all right, thanks, man. All I said was that Nick Foles is the perfect guy to win the Super Bowl with. But sure, you know more than me, don't you? So when I called in to Mike Missanelli's show and he hung up on me because I told him exactly how we'd win the Super Bowl, you know, I remember stuff like that. So I come back to them, and I will come back to people, and people get offended about that. And it's like, look, man, if you're going to tell me how much I don't know, I'm going to wait. I will, and I'll wait till it happens, and then I'll come back and I'll ask you if you'd like to rethink that. Because if you're going to just bring me your negative thoughts and energy for absolutely no reason without even a basic understanding, because those are the people, they don't even know what they're talking about. It's like, all right, dog, I'm going to match energy. We're going to see how much you like yourself and how much you treat other people. So, yeah, sometimes you do have to match that energy, and I don't like it. I don't. But, hey, man, that's what they want. That's what they're going to get. Yeah, man, I'm sorry. And being on your deathbed, it gives you a different perspective on life. It just, you get tired of people walking all over you. You get tired of people stealing your work. It's happened my whole life. I was never the entitled kid. I was always the one that, you know, I didn't grow up with money. I always had to prove it more and more. I had to be the smartest and then some. I had to be the most athletic and then some. You know what I mean? Just because all of the coaches were sleeping with their cousins who had their kids, who, like, that's where I grew up in Pennsylvania. So it's like, I mean, my parents were trying to do me a favor by moving out of Philadelphia, but God help us all. It's bad where I live. But yeah, I love it. Always here for the diehards, and that's what it's about. I'm never here to be mean to any of you guys, and if you guys don't understand something, ask me or let me explain it. I will not ever be a jerk to you. I only am jerks to people that are jerks. And people want to tell me what I don't know, and it's like, oh, okay, so you understand the defense like I do. Let's find out. And then they get upset. And it's like, well, I thought you were going to tell me. You told me that you knew more. So if I challenge that, I don't understand why that makes me the jerk. It's like, I'm just trying to help you prove your point, man. So prove it. Yeah, man. Bird brains. That's right. And it's like, I don't get it. Why do people follow that? And people go to war for that. You should have seen the people yesterday mad at me because I explained what actual defense we were running and why Hassan Reddick drops into coverage. They were going to war for these dudes. Like, yeah, they're going to kiss me one day. And it's like, I don't think they will, but you can keep going to war for them. Has the NFL extended the 53-man final squad and the practice squad have been expanded? No. But, Andrew, last year, because of COVID, you do remember, or whatever before that, they expanded to 16 guys. So it's still at 16. You can have 16 players. So keep that in mind. We're still there. You can have 4 of those guys being veterans that have played for as long as they want. It doesn't matter how many accrued seasons they have. And then your other question, 53-man. No, it has to be a 53-man final roster. But the thing is, what they changed last year was you can add 2 guys onto your roster on game day that don't count against the roster. So you essentially have 55 men on your roster. But if you recall, you can't dress like 7 people there. So now you're down to 48. It used to be 46 dressed on game day. Now it's essentially like it's still 46, but like 40. I actually have videos breaking all that stuff down if you want to look more extensively into it. But yeah, you can add 2 guys on the roster. And essentially what that was for was because people were getting COVID. So now you're missing like a roster spot. So this way, you don't have to take them off of the practice squad to put them on the roster. Because when you do that, you either have to release them or they stay on the active roster. This way, they can just revert right back to the practice squad because you don't want to lose these people, but sometimes you're in a tough place and you need to add someone. So NFL has been a little lenient there. Hopefully, I was able to answer that question there, Andrew. I took a break. My return video is today. Oh, that's what's up, man. That is what's up. Best of luck to you, my bro. Understand you don't want to be, but I think that's all people understand. You're right, Allison. And nobody was paying attention to me until I said something in a jerk-off manner to Elliott Shore-Parks. That was the only people finally started subscribing and listening to me talk about defense because I had to step in and be like, dude, that's just wrong. And I can't take it. It's like if people are misinformed about whatever, and we live in the age of misinformation, but it's like I really, if that's why they're mad, that's what pisses me off about the media doing that. They got people pissed off about things the media doesn't understand. So a lot of the fans rely on those people to think for them. And me, I will never allow anyone to think for me. So it's a tough game because you got people going to war for those guys. Like, yeah, but Deshaun Watson's coming here. They told me. And it's like, yeah, but I'm telling you, Hassan Reddick, Jordan Davis, all these guys are way more important. That's what you need to focus on this offseason. Got a lot of slander, but I think people see why now. So I totally agree with you there, Allison. Have to get some work in, sir. Definitely, man. Let me know. I just got to go on the Philly show last night. And as I tell everybody, always down to try to come on, help you guys out. And just let me know. I always try to fit you guys in whenever I can in my schedule, and always excited to go on other shows and just get wild, man. And then I try not to get too wild because it's their show. But I subscribed to you last year. I checked yesterday. I won, so I resubscribe. I was watching Joe yesterday. Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. And yes, I've not seen your name before, but it is a pleasure to meet you, and it's a pleasure to have you here. And I'm happy that you're resubscribed and you're ready to rock and roll. And now that you said that about Joe, did you maybe comment? I woke up this morning and had a comment from an Allison about the show, asking about Anthony Harris, the free safety. Also asking, I forget what else, but I think that was something about Anthony Harris and stuff. But yes, I appreciate that. I appreciate the support, seriously. And always love to see you guys sharing love between each other. Your reporters annoy me, especially. Yeah, man. I was on my deathbed and I literally was like, this is driving me insane. Like, I'm going to die and I'm going to be pissed off about these people just misinforming everyone. So that's how we got on the road to victory, man. Thanks to my girlfriend pushing me to do this. It was like, all right, let's do this. Also, Dan said, don't get me started. Not here to slander anyone. So I'll just, I'm glad we didn't get what's, yeah. And I try to explain why that was a really stupid move. Also, because he seems like a dirtbag. So I'm good. We've got Jalen Hurts, who seems like a pretty great young man. And I know that we've got a lot of Eagles fans in this fan base, and that's unfortunate. But I'm all about, great leaders, great men being on this team. So I was not only against it because of the football side, but outside of football as well. So I agree with you there. I was very glad. Some media personalities are casting aspersion on the Eagles, and they're signing white Bradburys that are so exactly. They were not worth it. Yeah, those people don't know football. And I'll be real with you, Andrew. Just send them my way. I happily will educate the media because they seem to just be following each other's narratives. So what's great about this offseason is every single player we signed and drafted, I have videos on before it happened. So those people now have to understand why I was explaining it before it happened, because it made so much sense. And yeah, it's not just me saying it because they did it. It's because they were the right moves. So Andrew, I'm glad we found each other here, man. And I hope you're enjoying the content, because we're going to stop those people from putting out, and they're going to keep putting out misinformation. I can't stop that, but we're going to hope that people stop giving it so many likes, so many retweets, stop, filling this world with so many lies, and we just try to get the truth out there. That's what my hope is, and not just with football, in real life too. I mean, you guys saw with the whole, we won't even get started, man, but you've seen what misinformation does. You got people taking horse tranquilizers and shit or whatever, drinking bleach. Like, what the? Oh my God. The ESPN guy ESP guy on Twitter is the worst. And dude, you know how people are. They just EDP. Yeah. I mean, and look, I'm sorry. I don't have any like past racist posts or pedophilia charges or whatever fans are into with these weirdo content creators. I don't know, but, holy shit. I'm just trying to be a good person and talk Eagles. You know what I mean? So breakdowns are awesome. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. And I try to, not like get ahead of myself. I try to just keep it basic. And, if people have questions, then I, try to further extend that. And I always tell people, if you want further explanation, you want anything, please feel free to reach out. That's just how I roll. And I made some great friends and people going through things. I try to preach that every show because I mean it. So, yeah, you guys are saying it. I'm not. But yeah, he is a dick. So I will say it. Honestly, just want to jump on a call with you and talk football. You seem like a very fun guy. And that's a lot of people say that. And that's how it is. And that's why I tell you guys, reach out, man. I'm always down. Some people are shy. It's like, dude, I'm always down to talk to you guys. And some of you guys have my number. We're always talking bird. So I love it. I do. I really do. I'm all about spreading that brotherly love. So, and look, man, we all go through stuff. And I try to tell people, like, I don't care who you are or what you're going through. Maybe I haven't been through that thing, but we speak through experience, and we hope that our experiences and the wisdom we've gained through those can help others. And that's just all I've ever been about. So I appreciate you guys. I really do. And building the friendships here and the family. You guys really are family. Talking football in general, myself, man. That's what this is all about, man. And you guys always get me going off on tangents, but I love it. I love it. And I'm sorry, I'm a rambler, baby, but ramble on. That's what I do. I'm going back to Hurts no matter what. If he has a bad game, I'm going to be real about it. Well, you're going to enjoy yourself here because I break it down no matter what happens, whether it's good, bad, anything. Because all I want to talk about is what's really happening. With the narratives, if it's bad, it's going to be the hellfire and brimstone. If it's good, we're in the Super Bowl. It's like, holy shit, we can't even have like where we talk about what's happening. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Go check out last year. You'll see. Go check out the playlist. You can see each week that I have every game. You'll see a breakdown of everything that you could have possibly have ever wanted to know about the other team, our team, everything to prepare you for that week. So go check that out. I give you the stats of that week, like where the standings are. I'm going to do it again this year. So if you guys love football, girls, whatever, whoever you are, if you love football, you're in the right place. And if you love Eagles football, you're definitely in the right place. Yes. Dude, and that's what I try to do, just try to keep it as real. That's something my father taught me as a young man, and I always say, he was a drug and alcohol counselor. He just had a heart of gold. The man was awesome as hell. And there's something I definitely learned from him, and the things I went through in life, it has helped me now as an adult to try to help others. And look, I still go through stuff every day. I try to tell people that, like, I'm not even close anywhere near to understanding life or being perfect in any way, shape, or form. I just try to use my experience to help others so they don't go through the crap that I went through. That's all I'm ever saying, ladies and gentlemen. So just want to make that clear. But I appreciate you guys, seriously. And I'm old school, so I say guys all the time. I hate that I say that. I try not to. So, but all of you, I appreciate the hell out of you. AJ Brown running sprints with his daughter after practice. Love to see it. I love this whole family and the brotherhood this team is building. I feel it. It's in the air again. So we're going to see how it looks this rest of this training camp, this preseason, this coming season. When the first couple of weeks start, we expect maybe some bumpy roads, right? But let's be patient and watch this team, because I think we talked about this last year. If Howie uses those picks and that money correctly, we're building something. So we did. So I'm going to say the same thing. If you keep building on this, we're building a contender for years to come. You have 2 first-round picks next year, 2 second-round picks the following year. That's a lot of ammo. You've got cap space this year that can roll over because you need some next year, but you've got the cap going up with the TV deals. Then the next year, you got like 40+ million in cap space. So we've got money to play with. We got the ability to sign people to long-term deals. It's time to get excited, ladies and gentlemen. But I appreciate you. I really do. Every single one of you. What are those coned helmets they wear in practice? Are those for the offensive line? Which ones do you mean? You mean the padded ones for protection, or are you talking about the colored ones just so they can see who the offensive linemen are. I think you're talking about the orange ones. But, yeah, I think they just wear those for the offensive linemen. You're not trying to get head injuries and stuff like that at this time. Yes, once this team gels together, we're going to be unstoppable. And that's something, people get upset at me for saying. And it's like, oh, you haven't even seen. It's just on paper. And it's like, yeah, but if I mapped it out and told you every player we were going to sign and draft, and I said if it happened, I would be excited, then I'm going to stick to my guns and tell you that I'm excited. Because I said if we do that, that's how you build a contender. You go trade for a big name wide receiver like A.J. Brown. We did. We're a contender. You draft Jordan Davis and finally have a nose tackle. You sign Hassan Reddick, have a Sam linebacker. You get 2 middle linebackers. You get a veteran corner who's a stud who takes on those bigger wide receivers. You get a veteran safety. They did all that. So I'm going to stay excited. People can tell me what I overreact. Nah, man, this is just knowing football and understanding the cap and all the little nuances of the game. I know a lot of people don't like to do that, but I do. Battered ones, yes. I think, just keep them safe. I think that's just the only reason. It would be great if Hurts, the franchise, next trade, first. Exactly. You, as Eagles fans, everyone should want him to succeed because then we get a corner next year. We get a safety. We get all these fun toys. So a lot of excitement, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hope for success this year. My man, Big Play Slay, what's going on, brother? Just heading out here. Nice to see you. It's been a minute, but I hope you are doing well. I'm doing great, man. Thank you for asking. Look, dude, I unfortunately was just rolling out, but I appreciate the hell out of each and every one of you for tuning in. Hope you're all having a great week so far. It's the weekend. Let's go. Anything crazy happens, I will be back. But if not, I'll keep you up to date with everything else that is going on. But if you need me, you want to talk about whatever, let me know. You want to just talk about how excited you are and you're happy you found me because there's somebody out here who's been trying for over a year to get people excited. Let me know because I've been looking for you guys too. I have desperately been looking for real fans. So thank you all for tuning in today. I cannot wait for this season to begin, but we're going to get through this all season together. That's right, Candy. Let's hope for some just a couple bumpy roads in the beginning, some minor tweaks and ass beatings. That's how I see. Say that all the time. How can anyone want Jalen? It's just haters, and a lot of time they're just racist, to be honest with you. That's what I was kind of inferring earlier with the whole Eagles thing. So yeah, you unfortunately have that in this fan base, but it's this country. So I really want him to succeed. Anybody who doesn't, they're not real Eagles fans. So I just don't care about those people. I'll be real with you. But you guys are awesome. Dude, Jay, of course, thank you for all taking the time, each and every one of you. I seriously cannot thank you enough. And, if this is your first time, truly appreciate you. If you guys enjoyed this content, do me a favor, hit that like button. You can subscribe to the channel and turn that notification bell on, and you will be live next time talking birds because I can't do this without you guys. So please join in. And even if you're just a watcher, you don't even like the comment, I appreciate you too, but don't be shy. Don't be shy. Always down to talk with you guys. But maybe I'll show you. Here, look, just to get people excited. Look at that defense. Oh, yeah, that's going to be the base defense, the 3-4. That should make you want to run through a wall. What you're probably going to see more of, though, is Avonte Maddox thrown in there for the 3-3-5. And then if they want to throw Reddick down on the line, you've got some options here to turn into a even base nickel. So I really just think that the excitement is there. It's just a lot of confusion. So if you could, do me a favor, share those videos, the defensive multiple schemes to others. Show them that there is someone explaining how these things work and has been trying to for a very long time. I would greatly appreciate that so we can get fans on the right track to stop being mad about things that don't exist just because they don't understand why Hassan Reddick drops into coverage because they don't know what a Sam linebacker is. So I appreciate you guys. I really do, but I'm heading out of here. Dude, and hey, let's go. Let's go. Do me a favor. If you guys could share it out there, get my YouTube out there, let people know there's somebody who bleeds green and actually knows what they're talking about. And there are other great ones too. And I go on their shows and I try to share their stuff and I try to point you guys in that direction. So let's change the game. Let's get us out here. Let's get the diehards in front. Let's show people that there are knowledgeable fans talking about football. So they don't think we're Cowboys fans because I can't have that. And I won't have that. Until next time, everyone, hope you all have yourselves a great start to your weekend. Reach out if you need me. Stay safe out there. And as always, go Birds!